Hey everybody, it is me again. Welcome back to my channel. Let's continue on with part 4 of our Shabby Chic journal. We're working on the cover today. So it's very exciting. I want to show you some things that I pulled from my stash. I've decided that I'm going to do something a little different, mix it up a bit from what I initially said would be the cover in part 1. You'll see in a moment. First thing that's different is I'm going to use this fabric as the base. I think that it's a little bit more, well, I know that it's more shabby chic. It's got the florals, it's got that soft. I mean, this is it's like a mauve and cream. It just fits the theme better than the white that I had in the last video or the first video. So the other thing I'm going to be using is some lace that I had in my stash already. I'm going to use some of this crocheted trim from my haul from part 1. I don't know if I'm using this piece yet, but I have it out. This is also from my stash. It is a piece of sari silk that is embellished with sequins. How beautiful is that? Sequins and beads. And focus in, camera. It's only, what, 5 inches or so? Oh, no. 7 3/4 inches. But you know, it's just it's a strip, it's a scrap. So I'll be using that, and I think I'm gonna use this to line the pocket that I had planned for the front cover. I've got this also. I showed you all this one. I have a doily, but a larger doily. This doily is about 7 inches across versus the little 3 or 4 inch one that I had before. And then this piece of fabric, the one I said reminded me of some furniture that my parents had growing up. So yeah, as I just lay these here on camera, you can see how everything sort of blends. The colors just nicely complement each other, and you still got that vintage look. Some accents that I'm going to be adding. We're going to use this sari silk for a binding, and it's like ombre, and it goes from that pink to lavender to this taupe tone. It just really matches very well. I'm glad that I remembered I had this. I mean, look how that blends nicely with everything. All right, so I'll be ironing ironing this to flatten it out and get it ready for the cover. So we'll set that to the side. And lastly, we've got some bling, well, some additional bling. Take a look at how cute and pretty that is. I don't think the camera is quite picking up the pink. So there's a white stone in the, like a pearl white stone in the middle, and these little petals on the flower are pink. Let me see if I can adjust, get some more light in here. It's a little better. It's cloudy and rainy today. Somebody does not want me to film. And then I have this pearl. Let's see if I can, there we go. That has some leaves, almost like, the pearls are almost like little berries on the leaves. Hard to describe. There we go. So we're going to include that as well. And that's the look that we're going to go for our cover. So first things first is the base of the cover. I'm going to measure my fabric so that it's big enough to be wrapped around the base, and then we'll get started on the base. So we have got the base for our cover, and this is chipboard. It's not very thick. I don't know if you can really pick up how thin this is. It's pretty sturdy though. I don't know if you guys knew this. I just found this out probably a year ago. Chipboard has a direction, right? The fibers run a certain way, and it makes it so that, see how flexible, I don't know if you can really see how flexible this is going this way, but if I turn it, I can't really bend it as much. So I like to have that going across, that the stiff portion, or the way the fibers run being stiffer, going across, so that when I'm holding the book, the covers don't, you know, fold in and out this way. I don't know if that even matters, but yeah. So I've got two front and back cover and spine piece. This is 6 by 9. Yeah, 6 by 9, 2.5 by 9, and those are 3 pieces. This is going to be a cushiony, almost quilt-like fabric journal, which is semi sturdy just because of the chipboard. So in order to get that quilty feeling, we're going to use some batting. This is the batting that I buy. I get it from Joann Fabrics, but Walmart sells batting. Anywhere that sells sewing supplies and fabrics will sell batting. My favorite, Amazon, of course, sells batting as well. I just use white cotton batting. I don't know enough about sewing, and I've said this a zillion times, to know like the differences and all of this, like the loft or the shrinkage or stitch distance. None of that really matters to me. I've been using this same one for several journals, and it's thick enough. That's all I can really say about that. So we're gonna take this out. I got a little scrap here. I saved my batting scraps because what I can do with these small pieces, I will cut this and make tags, fabric tags out of these. Very, very cool, especially for your fabric covered journals. You can incorporate some of that quilted goodness inside of the journal also. So yeah, I'm just going to cover these pieces. I'm not cutting enough batting to wrap around them at all. It's just these sizes. I'm going to glue them on. You can use fabric glue, but I know that my normal tacky glue that I use, it's just a PVA glue. It will work because this is paper. So, so fabric onto paper, PVA works just fine. right, guys, so here is where I am with the front cover. It's been a little while. I stopped to eat lunch and whatnot. So we've got all of that sewn down and our little pocket. And when we go to, after we put the spine on and fully construct the cover, it'll be like that. And I'm thinking about adding the doily wrap as well. We'll see how that looks layered there. But yeah, so I'm just going to finish with the rest of the fabric, the back cover and the spine, and I'll show you how I connect it to this little mid piece. All right, so we've got the sewing. I did a zigzag stitch all around the front cover, the spine, and the back cover. And I'm not sure I said this earlier in the video, but I'm following Tanya Samuel's fabric journal cover. I think the title of her video is something like Journal Cover for Beginners, something like that. I skipped portions here on purpose because I'm not attempting to do a tutorial. I'm just simply showing you what I'm doing, and you're crafting along with me. She does a phenomenal job of actually doing the tutorial. So I'm not reinventing the wheel here. I'm letting her do what she is good at. So yeah, so I'm at this portion where that base is underneath, and we glue here. Now, oops. All right, so what Tanya will do is then after it's glued together, she'll sew again around the edge. I'm not really sure why she does that. I mean, maybe to get that stitch that looks like it just goes, I'm not really sure. So I have not done that in the times that I've used this tutorial before, and I'm not sure I'm going to do it today. So I guess we'll just see. So I don't know that I told you guys, I doubled up on the batting so we could get a super duper squishy cover. You don't have to, obviously, but yeah, I've got 2 layers of batting here. I pulled these velvet ribbons from the Ideology line, and I feel like this goes best with, you know, the album. I just don't know yet how I'm going to use it, so I'm not going to force it, but I pulled this out just so we would have access to it and it'd be top of mind when it's time. So I'm going to, oh, what am I doing? I need to sew my signatures in here. So what I think I'm going to do is take this spine and set it to the side, sew in the covers. Then once, glue. Once it's glued in, it'll look like this on the interior. I'll be able to take a piece of paper and do the front end page and the back end page, and what we'll be left with is this spine in the middle. I'm not sure just yet, and I'll come back on and let you guys know once I decide what I'm using to cover this, because when the pages sit inside here, you'll be able to see like the raw edges of the fabric, and it won't look finished. So I'm gonna lay something out here before I do the end pages. Not sure just yet what that'll be. And then my next step will be to sew the signatures right into this cardstock. Once that is all done on the inside, then we will cover. So that the mechanism, sometimes we want to show the strings and threads that we use for binding. Today is not one of those days for me. So I'm going to be covering all of that with the spine piece, and that'll be that as far as making the book. So give me a moment, let me find what I want for the interior. Let me glue these on and we'll continue. Here we are. We've got, I'll take this out so you can see what's happening. We've got front and back cover sewn into our spine base. We've got this piece of cardstock pattern paper cut from that Die Cuts with a View stack, and I cut a little bit off of this eyelet trim. And I'm going to have the eyelet trim hanging out the bottom of the spine, the bottom and the top. All right, so we're going to glue this in here. We're going to glue another piece at the top, and we're going to have this in our spine. Okay. You see that? Going to be really pretty when we close the book. See that? And then we have our spine, and it'll just be like a little frill hanging out the bottom. Pretty, right? All right, so that's what I'm doing next. All right, I'm going to speed you guys up so we get through it quickly. Okay, here we are. So we've got our end pages. They are identical, sewn around the edges, and they're going to sit here. Now, before I glue these down, I want to add a couple of pockets and flips to the inside covers. So the way I'll be anchoring those flips and things is on the back of this sheet. So I don't want to glue it down just yet. We're going to work on just a panel, right? So let's set this to the side. And I've got this sheet of paper. I think this is perfectly vintage and shabby chic. It's from the Wildflower paper paper stash from Tim Holtz, and I think that it's perfect for the vibe. I actually, the more I really compare the cover and some of the signatures that we've done to this yellow, I guess they're daisies. I don't know. It's just, I'm really not feeling it. So I am keen to cover this up. I probably will put a pocket kind of halfway over these. We'll see how things go. But yeah, that's where we're at. So to anchor this behind here, let me get a pencil. I'm going to have a 1/2 inch tab that gets glued to the back of here. So let's mark a 1/2 inch in, and we'll start there with our measurement. And I'm just trying to get this horizontal measurement. How far over do I want this flip? Let's go about here. All right, so we'll go here to here, and it's going to be as tall or just a shade shorter. About an 1/8 of an inch shorter. Let me cut. My trimmer's over here just off camera. Okay. And are you guys crafting, literally crafting with me? What are you making right now? Are you making what I'm making, or are you doing something else? I've got my scoreboard here. A little trick. I feel like I made this up. I don't know if I did, but I kind of discovered it on my own without anybody's help. What you do is, so Tim Holtz's paper, it's nice weight cardstock, double-sided, and it has a white core. One thing it is also is it tears easily. So what I do is I grab a baby wipe and I just run it right down in a line where I plan to score. And it just sort of softens up the paper a bit. You don't want it soaking wet, obviously, because then you run your scoring tool down and it'll tear. But just soften it up just a bit. And what that does is it makes it so that your paper isn't prone to tearing. Is it a guarantee? No. And a lot of times I'll run it on the back side as well. So no, not a guarantee, but I've noticed that it works pretty well. Yeah, so see, I don't have that paper splitting on me. And with a tab, we want to miter the corners. So with the tab folded back, this is going to fit right here. All right, so pretend we're on the inside cover of the journal. This will be glued just like that, and we've got ourselves a little flip. Okay, I probably am going to, well, I definitely am going to add a couple of pockets on this side, pockets on this side, another tuck space here. But you can expect that. I'm going to go and sew around our little flip as well. And yeah, I think that's what I really wanted to show as far as that's concerned. The next thing we're going to be tackling is, after we finish the covers, or the inside and back covers, binding. That's what we're doing next. I don't plan to do a step-by-step for binding. I don't know, you guys. I don't feel qualified to give a tutorial. But I'll add a little bit of footage of that as well. Give me one moment. I will be back soon. Okay, here we are with what we have so far. We've got exterior front cover. We've got the base of the spine, and we have the back cover done. Super duper squishy. Oh, we've also got our eyelet trim poking out the top here. Once this book is bound, the spine piece will sit here. And let me zoom out a bit so you guys can really see. That's how that will look. Okay, so I just put the signatures in. I didn't sew them in just yet. I just wanted to show you this first flip. So as you flip open, you've got a pocket here. I haven't done the pocket yet here. I'm not sure what kind of pocket I want, so I left it. When I'm not sure about where I want to go next, I don't rush it. I'll get to it when I'm inspired. And then this is the closure, the front inside cover, and that's another pocket here. I'm going to, I don't know how yet. I want to keep this closed because when you open the journal, see how that's already open? I think that bothers me. As of now, it's bothering me. We'll just see how things go. And then we've got the signatures. Of course, these would be sewn into the spine and be sitting a little bit more like that. There. Such a beautiful little look already, right? Okay. All right, so there. Off camera, I'll be working on continuing the inside covers, front and back, and sewing in the signatures. The next time you see me, I will be doing some maybe a little decoration, and then the final flip through. My goal is to just have a 5-part series, and with part 5 including the flip through. So wish me luck, and thank you so much for joining me. I would love for you to subscribe. Again, my name is Charnay. I'm the Papyrophile. Join me for the next video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.